city exhales at midnight, and only certain men remain. The city exhales at midnight, and only certain men remain. Not the loud ones, not the restless, the ones who know the rain is not a weather pattern, it is a frequency reserved for men who carry what no one else can see. He takes his coat, his corner, his glass without a name. He doesn't need an introduction. Every night is the same. Ritual of the composed man, the one who shows no scene, the one who built his silence into something like a dream that only makes sense at midnight, only makes sense alone, only makes sense to the man who recognizes this is home. The night begins here for the men who say nothing, for the men who control everything without touching. The night begins here for the ones who remain when the noise has exhausted itself and only the quiet sustain. You found this place for a reason. You didn't stumble here by chance. Something in you recognized the rhythm of this dance. The composed man's particular posture, the unhurried and the still. Something in you heard the opening and felt it like a skill. You've been practicing in secret in the hours before dawn. You are exactly who this music was always written for. The man who suffers quietly, the man who asks for nothing more than the sound that says, I see you, I know what you carry. You don't have to say a word. The night begins here, and you are not alone. The night begins here, and you have always been heard. The night begins here for the men who say nothing, for the men who control everything without touching. The night begins here for the ones who remain when the noise has exhausted itself and only the quiet sustain. There are things this music knows that no conversation reaches. There are truths the silence teaches that no louder language preaches. Every track ahead of you was built for what you carry, built for men who never marry. emotions to their face, built for men who found their grace in the discipline of still. If you are here, you already know the drill. Say nothing, control everything. The night is yours, it always was, it always will. The night begins here. Pull the collar, hold the glass. Let the music do what language was never built to last. Long enough to say correctly, the night begins here. For the man who moves in silence, silence. For the man who chose this year and every year before it to become exactly this. Composed, controlled, complete. The night begins here, and it is yours. The night is yours, it always was. The night is yours, it always was. The night begins here.
He sits where the light runs thin. He sits where the light runs thin. No word spoken, no word missed. The room adjusts around his chair. Men know something's always there. He doesn't move, he doesn't ask. Silence is his only mask. Every eye drifts back to him, even when the lights go dim. Say nothing, control everything. The loudest man controls nothing. The quiet one controls the ring. Say nothing, own everything. That's the code he chose to live. That's the only crown he'd give. You see a man who never speaks. You don't see what silence seeks. You see a man who holds his glass. You don't see what he lets pass. Every word he swallowed whole built the fortress of his soul. Every silence, every night was the discipline he'd write. Say nothing, control everything. The loudest man controls nothing. The quiet one controls the ring. Say nothing, own everything. That's the code he chose to live. That's the only crown he'd give. There were nights I almost spoke, watched the silence almost broke, but I stitched it back with pride. Every word I kept inside made me harder, made me clean, made me something no one's seen. If I ever let it go, I'd lose the only thing I know. Say nothing. control everything. The loudest man controls nothing. The quiet one controls the ring. Say nothing, own everything. That's the code, that's the crown. That's the man who won't back down. He rises slow. The room stays still. He rises slow. The room stays still. Say nothing. Say nothing. I stopped raising my voice the year I understood power. I stopped raising my voice the year I understood power. Not the kind men shout about in desperate midnight hours. The kind that lives in stillness, the kind that needs no name. I walk into a room and nothing ever stays the same. I don't explain my silence, I don't justify my ways. Every man who needs to argue hasn't earned his days. I just stand where I'm standing, let the noise exhaust itself. Silence built me everything every shouting man just felt. I never raise my voice, I never show my hand. The man who says the least is the one they understand. I never raise my voice, I never break the code. Quiet is the only path that leads where I have gone. You see a man who says nothing, you think he has no fight. You don't see what I've been carrying alone through every night. You don't see the things I've swallowed just to keep my hands still. Every word I never said was a test of iron will. The ones who talk the loudest are the ones with nothing real. The quiet ones have already won what the noisy ones can't feel. I never raise my voice, I never show my hand. The man who says the least is the one they understand. I never raise my voice, I never break the code. Quiet is the only path that leads where I have gone. There were nights I held the damage right behind my teeth. Everything I wanted to say I buried underneath. If I ever let it surface, let one fracture show, I'd lose the only armor that I built from years of cold. I never raise my voice, I never need to now. The room already knows me, no one asks me how. control everything I touch without a word of proof. The piano plays alone. No one needs to know. The piano plays alone. No one needs to know. I never raise my voice. The last man standing never ran. The last man standing never ran. He watched the others burn. He didn't need to make a move. He waited for his turn. Every table has a man who never shows his cards. Every room has one who reads what's hidden between the bars. He doesn't chase, he doesn't beg, he doesn't need the stage. The most controlled man in the room is the hardest one to gauge. Control every breath, every word, every step. Controlled every move, measured slow. The man who says nothing controls the whole show. You see a man just sitting still. You think he's somewhere else. You don't see him counting exits. You don't see his wealth. Not the kind that fills a pocket, the kind that fills a mind. Every second that he's silent, he's 1,000 steps ahead. While the loudest men are chasing, he already knows what's said. Controlled every breath, every word, every step. Controlled every move, measured slow. The man who says nothing controls the whole show. I almost moved too early once, almost showed what burned inside. Then I felt the cost of impulse, what it cost to lose your guide. From that night I made a promise to the silence and the dark. Never let them see the engine, never let them see the spark. Controlled every room, every man, every wound. Controlled cold and clean to the bone. The man who controls everything controls it alone.
never moved first. You never had to. Controlled. Control.
I stopped calling it pain the year it started building me. Stop calling it pain the year it started building me. Every wound became a wall, every wall became a key. I don't talk about the nights I spent with nothing but the dark. I don't need you to believe me, you can read it in the mark. Every man who broke me clean left a blueprint in the break. Every loss I ever carried showed me what I had to take. Pain was not my enemy, pain was my first teacher. Every lesson cost me something, every something made me stronger. Pain into power, darkness into stone. Every man who suffers quietly builds something of his own. Pain into purpose, fire into frame. I became the man I am through everything that came. You see a man who doesn't flinch when the cold wind hits his face. You don't know how many winners taught him how to hold his place. You see composure like a coat he wears without a thought. You don't see the years of damage that composure cost and bought. Every night I paid the price for the silence that I wear. Every scar beneath this suit is a stone I chose to bear. Pain in the past, nothing left at all. Pain into power, scar into gold. Every broken night I survived made me harder to hold. Pain into legacy, wound into will. I am everything the dark tried to break and couldn't kill. The dark built me, piece by piece, piece by piece. The dark built me, piece by piece. Pain into power. Pain into power. He sits where the smoke hangs low and still. He sits where the smoke hangs low and still. Not hiding, not running, just fulfilling his will. Every scar across his hands tells a story he won't speak. Every line across his face is the discipline he keeps. He was broken once completely, came apart at every seam. But a man who rebuilds slowly builds from something more than dreams. He was forged in what destroyed him. He was shaped by what he lost. Every night he paid in silence was a night that had a cost. Forged in the dark, built from the break. Every scar became a sword, every night became a wake. Forged from the pain, shaped by the cold. The man who suffers quietly is the hardest man to hold. You see a man who moves through rooms like he's already done this before. You don't see the years of wreckage, he rebuilt himself up from the floor. You don't see the 3 a.m. decisions made alone with just the rain. You don't see what discipline costs when the only tool is pain. Every lesson left a fracture, every fracture left a line. Every line became the blueprint of a man they couldn't define. Forged in the dark, built from the break. Every scar became a sword, every night became a wake. Forged from the pain, shaped by the cold. The man who suffers quietly is the hardest man I rebuilt everything I had back by myself. If I had broken our, let them see the fall, I'd have never built the man who now controls it all. Forged in the dark, finished in fire. Every broken night I carried brought me somewhere higher. Forged from the loss, built from the cost. I am everything they tried to take and never got. The dark made me what I am now. The dark made me what I am now. Forged in the dark. I dress my silence like a gentleman tonight. I dressed my silence like a gentleman tonight. Pressed it sharp and cold and wore it into the light. Every button fastened tight across a chest of stone. Silence is the only suit I've ever truly owned. Men mistake my quiet for a man who has no war. They don't see the battlefield I'm walking toward. Every word I swallow down becomes a tailored scene. Silence wears a suit, and mine is perfectly clean. Silence wears a suit, pressed and dark and real. The sharpest thing about a man is what he doesn't feel, or what he feels completely and refuses to reveal. Silence wears a suit, and I wear it still. You see a man composed at night beside a glass of rye. You don't see the architecture built of every quiet lie. Not the lies that break a man, the ones that hold him whole. The discipline of saying nothing builds a different soul. Every man who knows my name has never heard me break. Silence is the garment that I pull on when I wake. Silence wears a suit, pressed in dark and real. The sharpest thing about a man is what he doesn't feel, or what he feels completely and refuses to reveal. Silence wears a suit, and I wear it still. There were nights the seams came close to splitting at the thread. Nights I nearly let the whole construction fall instead. But a man who built his armor stitch by careful stitch doesn't tear it down for anyone, not even for this. If I ever let it open, let one evening speak, I'd lose the only version of myself I chose to keep. Silence wears a suit, cold and dark and mine. Every year I wear it better, every year more fine. Not because I'm empty, because I chose the line. Silence wears a suit, and I wear it to the end of time. Pressed and dark and mine, pressed and dark and mine. Silence wears a suit, and I wear it still. Silence wears a suit. Silence wears a suit. I took everything that hurt me and I wore it like a coat. I took everything that hurt me and I wore it like a coat. Not because I had no choice, because I chose the road. Every betrayal I collected went to building something real. Every night I spent with nothing taught me how to feel. Not the weakness kind of feeling, the kind that makes you still, the kind that turns the wreckage into iron and into will. I didn't survive the damage, I became it. Then I built, I turned it all to discipline. Every wound, every sin, every night I almost didn't win. I turned it all to discipline, not to forget, not to pretend, but to build from every broken end something no one can bend. I turned it all to discipline. You see, a man who doesn't waver when the pressure fills the room, you don't know he built that steadiness inside the darkest wound. You think composure is a gift, something handed at the door. You don't know composure costs everything and then some more. Every time I held my tongue when the rage was at my teeth, every time I swallowed fire that was discipline beneath, I turned it all to discipline. Every wound, every sin, every night I almost didn't win. forget not to pretend, but to build from every broken end something no one can bend. I turned it all to discipline. There was a night I had a choice, fall apart or hold the line. I looked at everything I'd lost and made it all mine. Not because it didn't hurt, because it hurt exactly right. Pain is just the cost of building something real enough to fight. If I'd let the damage win, let one tear become a flood, I'd have washed away the only man I ever understood. I turned it all to discipline. Every scar, every end, every cold night without a friend. I turned it all to discipline. This is not a wound I wear, this is architecture, this is prayer. Built from damage, built from air. I turned it all to discipline. Every wound became a wall, every wall became a door. Every wound became a wall. I turned it all to discipline. He chose not to speak the day everything changed. He chose not to speak the day everything changed. No explanation, no farewell, nothing rearranged. He folded what remained of him into a coat and walked the rain, not running from the damage, walking toward a different name. Every man who's lost it all knows there's a moment in the fall when the ground stops being solid and becomes something to install. He didn't mourn the pieces, he counted what was left. Then he built from nothing upward with the discipline of breath. He left without a word, no letter, no goodbye. Not because he had no feeling, because feeling wasn't why. He left without a sound, not broken, rearranged. The man who walked away from all of it was never quite the same. You see a man who travels light through rooms that try to hold him. You don't know what he abandoned and what that leaving told him. You don't see the life he closed behind him like a door. You don't know a man grows lighter when he stops carrying more. Every coat he ever wore belonged to someone prior. The man he is this evening walked himself through fire. He left without a word, no letter, no goodbye. Not because he had no feeling, because feeling wasn't why. He left without a sound, not broken, rearranged. The man who walked away from all of it was never quite the same. I know this man precisely. I have worn his coat and shoes. I know the night he made the choice between the hold and the loose. He chose to lose the anchor. He chose to walk the line, not because it didn't cost him, because the cost was fine. If he'd stayed inside the damage one more season in that place, he'd have lost the only version of himself worth keeping safe. He left without a word, and the silence was the gift, not the absence, the decision, not the fall, the lift. He left without a sound and landed somewhere real. The man who loses everything is the first man who can feel what freedom actually is. Not comfort, not the known, but the weight of walking forward, carrying only what you've grown. He walked into the dark and didn't look behind. He walked into the dark and didn't look behind. He left without a word and didn't look behind. He left without a word. I lost everything twice and only wept once. I lost everything twice and only wept once. The second time I understood what loss was built to hunt. Not your peace, not your name, only what you clung to false. Everything that left me clean was everything I had to lose. The first time broke me outward, scattered everything I knew. The second time I stood there and I watched it all fall through, with the stillness of a man who recognizes what is real. Everything worth keeping cannot be taken, cannot kneel. What remained when all was gone? Not the titles, not the crown, not the faces or the places, or the the things I'd written down. What remained was just the marrow, just the discipline, the code. What remained was who I built before I walked this road. You see a man who speaks of loss without the weight you'd expect. You think he didn't love the things he lost without regret. You don't understand that grief can live inside composure. You don't know the deepest mourning wears the face of pure closure. Everything I ever lost, I first held without condition, and when it left, I let it leave with the same clean precision. What remained when all was gone? Not the titles, not the crown, not the faces or the places, or the things I'd written down. What remained was just the marrow, just the discipline, the code. What remained was who I built before I walked this road. There are things I will not name, because naming gives them air. There are losses living in me that I choose not to declare. Not because they didn't matter, because they mattered most. The things worth grieving deepest are the ones you never post. If I spoke them into presence, they'd become too real to bear. So I carry them in silence, like a gentleman with care. What remained when all was gone? Only what I earned alone. Every night I spent rebuilding, turned the wreckage into home. Not a house, a man, not shelter, something whole. I lost everything twice over and came back with just my soul. And my soul was all I needed, and my soul was all I kept. What remained was what was real, everything else was dead. What remained was me, only me. What remained was me, rebuilt and free. What remained? Oh! Rain taps slow on a broken street. Rain taps slow on a broken street. He walks in and takes his seat. No introduction, no handshake, no performance for their sake. The room adjusts its temperature. Something shifts without a word. The most dangerous kind of man is the one who's never heard. He orders slow, he watches clean, he files away everything he's seen. Control is not a volume thing, control is the quietest offering. He owns the silence, He owns the room. He never speaks, but they all know soon what he wants and what he won't allow. He says nothing, and they all know how. You see a man who doesn't move, you think he has no groove. You don't see the calculations running clean behind his eyes. You don't see him building exits while he wears his calm disguise. Every man who fills the silence with his noise and borrowed words doesn't know the man beside him has already been and heard. He owns the silence. He owns the room. He never speaks, but they all know soon what he wants and what he won't allow. He says nothing, and they all know how. I learned this from a night when I spoke before I should. Watch the room shift toward the man who said nothing, understood. From that night the lesson lived inside the cost of sound. The man who owns the silence owns the most expensive ground. Just held the line tight. Control is not a battle. Control is who you are. He says nothing, owns everything, lights a slow cigar. The room stays still for him. Stay still. He says nothing, and they all know. He says nothing. Cold night hanging from his coat like a second skin. Cold night hanging from his coat like a second skin. He doesn't shake it off. He lets the cold come in. Every man who knows the cold knows what cold produces. Every man who feared the dark ran out of his own excuses. He stood inside the ruin once and chose to count the stones, not to mourn what came apart, to build with what he owns. The cost of who he is tonight was paid in nights like these. A man is only what he built from what brought him to his knees. The cost of becoming, nobody sees the price. Nobody counts the mornings that came after sacrifice. The cost of becoming everything he is, every scar, every silence, every cold night his. You see a man who wears his calm like it cost him nothing now. You don't see the 10,000 nights he learned to hold his brow. You don't see the year he spent rebuilding from the zero. You just see the finished version, never see the buried hero. Every man you envy quietly paid something you can't see. The difference between him and you is what he chose to be. The cost of becoming, nobody sees the price. Nobody counts the mornings that came after sacrifice. The cost of becoming everything he is, every scar, every silence, every cold night his. I know the cost exactly. I paid it line by line. Every night I traded comfort for a heart, a cleaner spine. I don't regret the payment, I don't mourn what went. The man I am this evening is worth every cent. If I'd chosen the easier version, the softer, louder road, I'd be lighter, yes, but emptier and further from this cold. The cost of becoming, paid in full, paid alone. Every night I spent in darkness was a night I built a home. Not a house, not a shelter, a man stone by stone. The cost of becoming is everything I own. He paid in full and asked for nothing. He paid in full and asked for nothing. The cost of becoming. The city never saw him start again. never saw him start again. He did it in the hours before men, before the street remembered it was day, before the world had anything to say. He laid the first stone back without a sound. He pressed it to the cold and broken ground. No audience, no witness, no applause, just a man rebuilding without cause that anyone could see or understand. He built it back entirely by hand. Every stone a night he didn't quit, every wall a wound he wouldn't split. He built himself back alone, stone by stone, bone by bone. Every night nobody saw, no. He built himself back alone, not for them, not for show, for the man he chose to grow. In the silence nobody knows, he built himself back alone. You see a man who stands complete tonight. You think he always carried this much light. You don't see the season of the zero, the year he spent invisible as hero. You don't see the mornings he chose forward, when everything inside him pulled him backward. You don't see the discipline of rising, when the rubble offers no disguising. Every man you see who stands this clean has been somewhere you have never been. He built himself back alone, stone by stone, bone by bone. Every night nobody saw, no. He built himself back alone, not for them, not for show, for the man he chose to grow. In the silence nobody knows, he built himself back alone. I know the zero season well. I've lived inside that particular hell of knowing what you were and seeing only what remains. The gap between the two is where a man either breaks or trains. I trained, I pressed, I stayed. I never asked for help or light. I built from what I had inside the middle of the night. If I let someone witness it, let anyone pull me through, the man I built would belong to them. This one belongs to you. He built himself back alone, and the silence was the blueprint, and the darkness was the stone. He built himself back alone, no recognition needed, no validation, no. The strongest thing a man can build is built entirely on his own. He built it in the dark, no one watching. He built it in the dark, no one watching. Built himself back alone. I've been alone so long, it became my art. so long, it became my architecture. Not a wound, not a wall, a chosen kind of structure. Every room I've ever lived in held the shape of just one man. Every table set for one was exactly as I planned. I don't say this out of sorrow, I don't say this out of pride. I say this like a man who knows the value of his inside. Solitude is not the absence of the things that others need. Solitude is the condition where a man can finally read himself without the noise, himself without the crowd, himself without the voices that make stillness feel too loud. I was always alone, not abandoned, not afraid, alone the way a man is when his peace has been handmade. I was always alone, not empty, not in lack, alone the way a man stands when he never needs to look back. You see a man who dines without a second glass or chair. You pity what you think is lost. You don't see what is there. You don't see the conversation that a quiet man conducts with everything he's built inside the life that he constructs. Every man who fears the silence fears himself a little too. The man who makes his peace with quiet has done what very few are disciplined enough to do. Sit still inside his own. There is no lonelier a man than the one who can't be alone. I was always alone, not abandoned, not afraid, alone the way a man is when his peace has been handmade. I was always alone, not empty, not in lack, alone the way a man stands when he never needs to look back. There were seasons I reached outward, tried the noise, tried the crowd, tried to be the kind of man who fills his life out loud. Every time I came back quieter, every time I came back sure. The versions of me trying to belong were never quite as pure as the version sitting here tonight with nothing but this glass. Some men need a crowd to feel alive. I just need the past to sit beside me quietly and remind me what I know. The man who knows himself completely has the only place to go. I was always alone, and the solitude was generous. It gave me everything I own. Not the things that can be counted, not the things that can be shown, but the kind of knowing only silence can bestow on the man who stays inside it long enough to grow. I was always alone, and alone was always home. Alone was always home. let go of everything I thought defined me. I let go of everything I thought defined me. Not in anger, not in grief, with the precision of a man who finally found relief. Not in having, but in choosing what deserves to stay. I held each thing I carried, and I put it all away. The titles and the trophies, the names that used to fit, the version of myself I performed until I had to quit. What remained was just the quiet. What remained was just the core. Turns out I was always lighter than the weight I'd been before. I let it all go, not because I failed to hold, because I chose to grow beyond the story I'd been told. I let it all go, not running, not in flight. I placed it down with both hands in the middle of the night and walked towards something right. You think a man who lets things go has given up the fight. You don't understand that releasing is a different kind of might. The hardest thing I ever did wasn't holding, it was freeing. Wasn't building, it was seeing what deserved to keep on being. Every man who grips too tight loses what he grips inside. The man who holds with open hands keeps everything with pride. I let it all go, not because I failed to hold, because I chose to grow beyond the story I'd been told. I let it all go, not running, not in flight. I placed it down with both hands in the middle of the night and walked towards something right. There are things I place down gently that I love beyond my words, not because they weren't worth keeping, because keeping them would hurt the man I was becoming, the man who needed space. Sometimes love means letting go of what you cannot keep in face. If I'd held on one more season to the weight I chose to free, I'd have stayed the smaller version of the man I had to be. I let it all go, and the silence filled the space, and I finally recognized the outline of my face. Not the face they gave me, not the one I wore to please, the one that only shows itself when a man is finally free of everything that wasn't his, of everything that cost. The man who lets go deliberately is never truly lost. I placed it down with care
walked away clean. I placed it down with care and walked away clean. I let it all go.
He sits where the bar light barely reaches. He sits where the bar light barely reaches, not hiding, choosing. There is a difference no one teaches. Every stool beside him stays unoccupied, not because the room rejects him, because he decides. He has a code that runs beneath the surface of his face, a loner not by accident, by permanent embrace of the truth that some men carry, better carried on their own. Not every man was built for crowds, some men were built for stone. The loner code. No apology, no need, no explanation for the man who plants his own seed. The loner code, not broken, not apart, complete inside the solitude of a disciplined heart. You see a man who holds the bar without a word to anyone. You think he's waiting to be found. You think the night's undone. You don't see he found himself before he walked in here. You don't see that every empty stool is chosen not from fear. The man who needs the crowd to feel has never felt himself. The man who thrives inside the quiet owns the greatest wealth. The knowledge of exactly who he is when no one's near. That knowledge is the only thing that never disappears. The loner code. No apology, no need, no explanation for the man who plants his own seed. The loner code, not broken, not apart, complete inside the solitude of a disciplined heart. I wrote this code in seasons no one else was there to read. In the years when all the leaving left me with myself to feed, I fed myself on silence, I fed myself on dark. I learned the loner's language. Every silence is a mark of a man who chose his borders, of a man who chose his shape. The solitary life is not a prison, it's an escape from the noise that never nourishes, from the crowd that never sees,
man who walks alone by choice, walks exactly as he please. The loner code, written in the years of quiet, signed in every night alone. The loner code, not a wound to be explained, not a story to be shown, just a man who found his frequency and built himself a home inside the only silence that is ever felt his own. The loner code, and he carries it like bone. He belongs to no one, and that is everything. He belongs to no one, and that is everything. The loner code.
I have nothing left to lose, and that is how I know I won. I have nothing left to lose, and that is how I know I won. Not because the war is over, because I became the gun. Every loss I didn't mourn out loud became a loaded thing. Every silence wrapped around my grief became the weight I bring. I don't carry pain like burden, I carry pain like tool. Every scar across my history became another rule. The rule of staying, rule of silence, rule of building in the dark. Every scar became a star that I navigate by now. Every scar became a star, every wound became a map. Every night I didn't make it brought me closer to the fact pain is not the enemy, pain is the architect. Every broken thing I carried built the man you see correct. You see a man who doesn't bend when the ordinary breaks. You don't see the years of pressure that it permanently takes to become a man unmovable, not cold, not made of stone, but deliberate and steady in the way he stands alone. Every man who tries to read me reads a language he can't know, built in pain, written in silence, spoken only in the low. Every scar became a star, every wound became a map. Every night I didn't make it brought me closer to the fact pain is not the enemy, pain is the architect. Every broken thing I carried built the man you see correct. There was a winter long ago when I counted what I'd lost. I stopped before I finished because I recognized the cost. wasn't debt, it was investment. Every loss was buying ground. Every wound was laying groundwork for what I was building down. If I traded pain for comfort in that cold and honest year, I'd have kept the easy version and lost everything held dear. Oh, every scar became a star. Every scar became a star. Every night became a year. Every night became a year. Every broken thing I carried made me someone without fear. Not invincible, just steady. Not fearless, just prepared. Every wound became my armor. Every scar my declaration declared. The scars became the stars that guided me home. The scars became the stars that guided me home. Every scar a star. I stopped explaining myself the year I understood that silence explains more. I stopped explaining myself the year I understood that silence explains more than any word I ever could. I used to hand my story out to anyone who asked. Used to need the recognition like a man who needs a glass. Then one year the asking stopped and something strange occurred. I found I didn't miss the need to be seen or to be heard. I knew my name completely. I knew my weight and worth, and knowing it was enough, the quietest kind of birth. I know exactly who I am. No introduction needed. No performance for the crowd. No hunger to be heated. I know exactly who I am. The mirror knows it too. The man who knows himself completely has nothing left to prove. You see a man who doesn't reach for validation anymore. You think he's given something up. You don't know what it's for. You don't see that certainty is the rarest kind of free. You don't know the cost of knowing who you're built to be. Every man who chases mirrors chases someone else's face. The man who knows his own reflection holds his own space. I know exactly who I am. No introduction needed. No performance for the crowd. No hunger to be heated. I know exactly who I am. The mirror knows it too. The man who knows himself completely was a time I built myself from what the world reflected. Every piece of who I was borrowed or collected. From opinions, from comparisons, from noise I mistook for truth. Then one night the noise went quiet, and I stood without the proof of anyone else's reading. Just myself inside the dark. And the man I found was different from the story in the mark. He was quieter, he was certain, he was nobody's design. If I'd stayed inside the borrowing, this man would not be mine. I know exactly who I am, built in silence, finished alone. Every year I know it deeper, every year more stone. Not because I stopped growing, because I know the bone, the architecture underneath that no one else has known. I know exactly who I am, and that is everything, and that is home. No introduction needed, never again. No introduction needed, never again. I know who I am. Midnight finds I'm in the same chair, always the same. Midnight finds him in the same chair, always the same. Not because he has nowhere to go, because he knows his name. Everything around him shifted, faces changed and seasons moved. The city rearranged itself, and he just stayed and proved that a man who knows his center doesn't need the world to hold. He stays when everything is leaving. That's the only story told that matters at the end of things. Not what came, but what remained. Not what left, but who was standing. After everything had changed, he stays when everything leaves. Not frozen, not afraid, rooted in the kind of knowing that cannot be unmade. He stays when everything leaves. Not stubborn, not in pain, just a man who found his footing and chose to remain. You see a man who doesn't chase what moves beyond his door. You think he has no hunger, you think he wants no more. You don't see the discipline of choosing to be still when everything around you pulls against your will. You don't see the cost of staying when the leaving looks like peace. The man who roots himself in silence finds a different kind of release. He stays when everything leaves, not frozen, not afraid, rooted in the kind of knowing that cannot be unmade. He stays when everything leaves, not stubborn, not in pain, just a man who found his footing and chose to remain. I know what it is to watch everything you built dissolve. I know the morning after leaving and the problems it won't solve. I chose the heart of standing. I chose to root and grow, not because leaving was impossible, because I needed to know what a man becomes when he refuses to be moved, not unmovable from fear, unmovable approved by himself, for himself. That is the only vote. If I'd left when leaving called me, I'd have lost the only note that made the music worth the hearing, made the silence worth the cost. A man who stays when all things leave has never truly lost. He stays when everything leaves, and the silence grows around him like a coat he always keeps. He stays when everything leaves, not a statue, not a ruin, a man complete. Everything left, he remained. Everything left, he remained. He stayed. The bar is almost empty now. He prefers it this way. The bar is almost empty now. He prefers it this way. Not because the crowd offends him, because he has more to say. To the silence than to anyone who fills a room with sound, he leans into the quiet like a man who's finally found. Not a place, a frequency, not a room, a state. The man refined by solitude arrives somewhere too late for ordinary company and too early for the noise. He lives inside the hours that belong to quieter boys who grew into quieter men, who grew into this. Refined in solitude, shaped by the slow. Everything the silence taught him is the only thing he knows that matters past the surface, past the suit and past the glass. Refined in solitude, the only education that will last. You see a man who occupies his space without apology. You think refinement came from comfort. You don't know the anthology of nights that built this posture, the deliberate, the still. You don't know that solitude is the sharpest kind of skill. Every man who fills his hours with the noise of other lives never learns the thing that silence teaches those who survive. The discomfort of themselves, the ones who sit and stay. The man refined by solitude was not born this way. Refined in solitude, shaped by the slow. Everything the silence taught him is the only thing he knows that matters past the surface, past the suit and past the glass. Refined in solitude, the only education that will last. I know the discomfort of the early silence before it became companion, before it became science. There were nights I tried to fill it with distraction and with noise. Then I learned to sit inside it like a man reclaiming poise. Every hour in the quiet gave me something back that loud had borrowed without asking when I ran inside the crowd. If I'd stayed inside the volume, never learned to sit and wait, I'd have been a louder version of a man with less to state. Refined in solitude, not finished, never done, but more myself each quiet evening than I was beneath the sun. Refined in solitude, the long and patient kind. The man the quiet made is the hardest man to find, and the easiest to recognize when silence fills the room. He is the one already there before the others come.
The quiet maiden,
Nothing else could.
the quiet maiden,
Nothing else could. Refined in solitude.